Good day, villagers. You ever wonder about those movie scripts? Are they real? Sometimes fact is better than fiction. I had a great conversation with Jayce Bartok, actor, director. Talked about his life journey in becoming an actor and director. Please light your lanterns and join us in the village square.
Welcome to Our Village Stories. Parenting through passion and grit. Shared stories become the lanterns that guide our kids' path. Join other villagers as Coach Cam, a teacher and athletic director, creates a safe space for these stories. So grab a lantern and let's light it up.
Oh, yeah, I'm feeling this. Yo, Dre, beat is crazy.
Pittsburgh, 1970, suburban family. My dad was a doctor and my mom was an artist. And my dad, I don't know how a lot of us grew up without great dad role models. He was not a good guy. But 4 kids, suburban family, seemingly middle class. Couple years into my life, because I'm the youngest of 4, I was like way late.
Okay.
And so my parents divorced in the early 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom decided to pack up the children and move to New York City.
Okay.
No money, no job.
Yeah, this sounds like a movie.
I'm going to go up there. I'm going to make it as an artist because she was an amazing artist. She made these films. She got grants from the NEA.
Mm-hmm.
She had really big ideas,
Okay.
but no money, no job. So we come up and my brothers and sister are at NYU. But the situation with my dad is just, it's done. So I grew up watching, being the youngest, watching all of these scenarios, like the divorce, the fights, all the craziness.
Yeah.
And then my older brothers and sister were doing their thing, especially my brothers. And my sister became like de facto other parent to help raise me. But I think just watching all of those things, I would just show up dressed in a military uniform, like doing a character. You know what I mean? Really obsessed with Bugs Bunny, Richard Pryor. Wow. 2 role models. Yes. So I think like I was always like trying to like come into the room and break the tension. And nobody would notice because I was like the youngest. So then when we moved up here, my brothers and sister went to HB Studio to acting class. And I just tagged along. And a classic story, then I got cast in a play. So then I started doing like regular class. And then I think around 8th grade, I did like an Apple Computers commercial for like the first Apple computer. And I was like in the classroom. I think like the camera just passed me but I was a principal, so I got into the Screen Actors Guild and then got an agent, right? Same thing. Like my brother got an agent, but I got an agent, but then I started getting jobs. Get the job. He's fine. So I started with my foot in the door as like a teen, teen. And then in high school, did a pretty big off-Broadway play. And I went to Catholic high school. So you want to get embarrassed, had like somebody hold up the review in the all boys Catholic high school and read the review. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm talking about embarrassed. But then I was in the Fisher King. That was like a big Robin Williams, that whole thing. And me and this actor, Dan Futterman, we got to beat up Robin Williams and set Jeff Bridges on fire. So Fisher King things got rolling, started doing movies, got a really big agent, right? And was like Christopher Walken and all these big clients. So I did a lot of like Swing Kids, there's a couple of School Ties, all those movies where I would be like the third guy, you know what I mean? Like the Matt Damon part, but then I would be like the guy that's like, this isn't right. What's going on here is not right. A lot of those. And then a little bit of a pattern of my career, that agency got eaten by William Morris. So then they dropped. And that was the beginning of the comeback. And I was like, wait, what? Drop me? Like I've been working all the time. So that kind of branded me as like, so then got a pretty good agent. And then I got this movie Suburbia, which was like a big deal at the time. Richard Linklater movie. Played this guy, Pony, who's the school nerd and then becomes like a rock star. So he comes back to his hometown and plays, but all his homies are in front of the 7-Eleven complaining, miserable. And then like I show up in it, I'm like the king of the humble brag. I'm like, you guys so great. You know what I mean? And the limo's there and play. And it was like an incredible experience. So I think after that, it was like, everyone in that movie is going to be a movie star. So there was that kind of weird pressure. And are you going to go to LA? What's going to happen? You know what I mean? And my career has taken like a lot of funny, it was marked by that like big agent dropping you, then rebuilding and fighting your way back. So that's been like this strange kind of metaphor for my career.
Oh, I mean, the perseverance.
Yeah.
I hear nothing but perseverance in your family. I hear nothing but perseverance in your story. And coming up, if you think you find a way, and then all of a sudden something happens and it just stops.
Exactly.
So you have to find a way to reinvent yourself, but then you find your way back because you look at it. You had the grit. Passion and grit, right? That's it, grit. Passion and grit.
Passion and grit. Because some people, they walk in, it's like that Hollywood cliche, and the agents say, no, that guy, or no, that girl. And I was never that person. I was always like, I got to prove myself. You know what I mean? Impress a director, do this thing. So that's kind of like the passion, the perseverance, the grit. And then at a certain time when I met Tiffany, my wife, I was like, I want to write something. Because I had been auditioning for all these TV pilots during TV pilot season, where every year it's like a lottery ticket. You're like, all right, you're a blind fighter pilot. Go. All right, you're an emergency room doctor that has a drug habit. Go. You know what I mean? And you like, no, not serious. You're trying to get all these big Hollywood big network shows, and there's all this pressure. So I wrote a screenplay that became this film called The Cake Eaters. Kristen Stewart, Bruce Dern, great cast, myself. And then again, remember that the whole grit and perseverance.
Right.
That went to Tribeca, sold. I thought I'm going to become a big screenwriter. Again, boom. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, that's been the way that my career's gone. But I'm loving it.
Yeah.
But yeah. And you know how it is. If you have to have that, if you don't have that for this profession, then you should get out of the performing arts.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you think you can do something else, you should do that. But if this is all you can do, then you're ready.
During your downtimes, who was important to you during your downtime? When you was taking those dips, who was important to you?
My mom was really important. Like so many of us, when you lost my mom at a relatively young age, in my 20s. So my mom was really important to me because I think her as an artist, she instilled in me like a work ethic and like a real deal quality. You know what I mean? If you create something for real, that's important in itself. You know what I mean? And people will come. You know what I mean? So get good at your craft and like really aspire to connect with people for the betterment of humanity. You know what I mean? Through your work.
Through your work. Yeah.
Make that your goal, not money, not all those things. All those things, sure, they're important. But having a goal, whether you're in the arts or whatever you're in, is to try to better humanity. Bring people together, unity, creating an energy, a feeling of love, peace, unity, all these things through what you're doing, and just get good at your craft, and the rest of it will work itself out. And that's easy to say because as an actor, I know so many actors, including myself, that, okay, this person's really great. They should be working all the time. But for whatever reason, maybe they're not. So you have to find something to sustain you. But what else sustained me is something that you said before is diversifying. So I started writing with the goal to, once I got my first film made, I said, I want to write and direct a film. And then my wife and I formed a production company where we tried to assemble a group of people, cinematographer, sound people, other people that you bring into your village, because you can't climb that mountain without that village.
Right. Absolutely.
So you got to assemble your team, your people, whatever you're doing. So that's been a journey since about like 2000. I guess the movie was made like 2006, 2007. So that has sustained me through times where, okay, for some years you get some big TV job, some big film job. And then other years you just find yourself like auditioning.
Right.
And it's just, oh my God. But because we try to make things, that is something that I can just switch my brain onto. And I really like that part because you can create your own universe. You can create your own team. You can create your own message. You know what I mean?
You're the builder. You feel like a builder. You're the builder.
Yeah. The builder. So that sustained me for sure. And something we talked about before, voiceovers. Voiceovers have sustained me, man. I can't say enough good things about voiceovers. And when you dig deep down the voiceover, William H. Macy, you find all these people that were like doing, like William H. Macy was like narrated Curious George. So that's something I fell into as an actor, as an extension of being an actor. So that has really sustained us just in terms of like livelihood. You do commercials, you can keep your lights on, pay your bills, you know what I mean? And maybe like right now, you can sell a pharmaceutical or sell dishwashing detergent or something. And that allows you to say, all right, let me try to develop this film I'm working on as a writer, or we make documentaries. So that's helped sustain me in the dark moments.
Oh man, that's amazing. But no, listen, you think about it, right? You talk to people through all walks of life, and immediately when you started talking, I said, oh, he's a builder, because what you're doing, you assembled your team to get a project done, similar to when I built the athletic program. I assembled my team in my village to build the athletic program. And it's about the greater good, right? It's about making the world a better place. It's about making your community and your area better. Yeah. Right. And then once you learn how to sustain that, everything else will come. Right. As for you, like you just said, right, you weren't expecting to do voice acting, right? But through your work, through your dedication, you said it fell to you. Yeah. Right? Because you put the work in. It may not look like how you want it to necessarily all the time, but you're fortunate enough and you're humble enough about it that these things are going to keep happening and it's flowing. Yeah. I just love when people are telling their stories. I'm like, oh, look, everybody has a similar thing, no matter you're an actor, singer, songwriter, it doesn't matter. Right. Everybody has whatever if you have a strong foundation and you love what you're doing, you're going to have an impact on people. That's amazing to hear that.
Yeah, because I know we connect on that about the coaching. Yeah. I have not had to have another job in 35 years. So there's times where I get dark and I go, oh, because at this point, we've talked. There's people, friends of mine, people I know that are wildly famous, Oscar winners. And you go to yourself at night, you go, you know what I mean? But then you go, my impact on my community, in my village, my block, maybe that's what's important to me. You know what I mean? Maybe that's my journey. Is I can't complain. I'm making a living, right? But I'm also bringing this group together and we're going on this journey together. Right. Well, I would be foolish to complain. We all complain. We're all like, we have those moments. Right. But I'm starting to see that what my journey is. Yeah. Because when you're approaching the big 5-0, you start to go, be reflective. What's it all about? Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's hard. There's a letting go that happens. Oh, you know what I mean? You know how it is. And when you let go, that's when things talk about it. Yeah. Because like when you're talking about obstacles, we all have been going through the pandemic. So my business has changed dramatically. You would go in the room, not unlike this. You're auditioning for a guest lead or a recurring part on a great show that we all know. You walk in the room and you're only seeing 10 or 12 people. And then you come in and it's the director. You're like, oh, that's Eric Stoltz is directing this episode. And you do your thing and you walk out and you're like, I can get that job. But in the pandemic, everything went to self-tape. You got to convince your wife to go on tape with you. You got to set up your whole deal. Yeah. And then you cast it off into the universe without any feedback, interaction.
Face to face is so important.
For me, it's important. Yeah. Yeah. So that was hard for so many of my friends. And then there's a bit of our business is all about the velvet rope, right? So when you would see 12 people and now you're getting 300 self-tapes, that's different from everywhere. And you're like, you watch a couple and you're like, let's just offer it to, because we know. And no one's going to say no to a guest star lead with a good paycheck. You know what I mean? So you're coming up against this, oh no, the door that I could get in, the closing. And so our business hasn't gone back to in-person auditions. So I was like, voiceover had been sustaining me. I think we were talking, I put a voiceover booth in our closet. You know what I mean? And I was like, great. I just do my sessions in there. You know what I mean? Kick it around the house. You know what I mean? There's a spot on the refrigerator, make a sandwich, go back in the closet, and go back into the staircase. Literally, I think our closet is under a staircase. And then we went on a little trip and we got away finally. And I just let it go. I was just like, you know what? Just let it go. Then when we're down there, my phone's ringing.
Were you a geek as a kid? Did you wear out your thumbs every afternoon on a gamepad?
Are you a family man now aspiring to reach super dad status?
Hi there. We're the Parenticons. 3 dads, all big geeks,
sharing stories from our own lives as parents,
as geeks,
and our eternal quest to bridge the 2 worlds. If you're looking for real talk about being a dad, hot takes on geek culture,
and how to raise kids to appreciate the finer points of geek life,
you found it.
So grab your phasers, sabers, wands,
roll your D20 dice, and don't forget the diaper bag.
You're listening to The Parenticons.
Strap in, sit back, and get ready to geek out. This is the Parenticons.
Leadership, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starfleet Leadership Academy. Its ongoing mission to develop leaders through Star Trek, to boldly go where no podcast has gone before. A Star Trek podcast told through the lens of leadership development. Subscribe today. The Starfleet Leadership Academy.
I would like to thank the villagers for sticking around this long. There were some technical difficulties during the latter parts of this interview because we did film it live. So stick around, just listen to the words, listen to the great insight. Appreciate you. Light those lanterns back up.
Like, oh, it's that guy, those people that are trying to get me to renew my automobile.
Right.
Insurance.
Yeah,
You know, your vehicle,
the extended warranty that you never bought.
offer will be denied if you don't push one. You know what I mean? And it's calling. And then, like, my wife said, that's your agent that's calling you. And I was like, why would my agent be calling me? Right. And I pick up and my agent say, hey, you booked this recurring part on this HBO show.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, what? It's like when you let go, it's tough to really let go.
Yeah.
Because you want to try to work the system and say, I'm going to pretend to let go, or I don't really care, or I'm not going to get this job. I'm going to act like my expectations are low.
Mm-hmm.
But there's moments where if you can really let go,
Mm-hmm.
the universe goes, whoa, we're not done with you yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Come on back.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something recently, that was my first time back on set since the pandemic. So a lot of my friends still haven't gone back.
Yeah.
So I went back really early, but to go back was a cool thing. It's the show that's coming on HBO Max called Pretty Little Liars. It's a reboot. Don't yet. So they're doing a reboot. The Riverdale creator is rebooted. The River. Okay. So everyone, of course, it's all teenagers and they're all classically beautiful young people. I'm a parent, obviously. My son apparently was like a terrible jock dude. He gets murdered. You know, you remember the storyline. There's a
killer.
He gets murdered. So I come on toward the end of the season and I'm like angry and freaking out and demanding answers and bust into the lead family's house, the lead girl and the lead mom. And it's also awkward because they know that my son's dead. She does, the daughter. But she's too scared to sort of tell me. So hopefully when my son is discovered,
Yes, no more.
yes,
No more.
yes, no more. Don't tell.
This is exclusive now. Hey, I just got some exclusive information. We don't
Tell HBO.
watch HBO Max. He's going to be on there. That's it. But don't tell anymore.
Yes, because some of your viewers may watch this show.
Yes. Don't tell him. That's it.
It's for the young people.
That's it. What episode is it? Doesn't matter. Watch the whole
Hey,
thing.
watch the whole thing.
Watch the whole thing.
End of season 1. I think it's like episode 107, 108.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's going to be really good.
All right. So that's amazing, though. Man, good for you. But
That was that was nice to go.
the idea of you saying, you just let it go, right?
Yeah, kind of. I let it done for a second. And you know me for a while.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
When they see us, I've done some work I'm really proud of, but there's times where you just go, I just auditioning, you're just casting it out there.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, okay, this is it. I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's right, of course, when the universe is like, whoa.
Right.
So
I'm going to say yes to the universe because I do believe in the universe. But that's also when you start to really trust your work.
yeah, you do. Yeah, right.
You trust your work. You got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And you've been at it for so long and that you believe in what you're doing, what you've been doing. That
Yes.
if it's going to be seen, it will be seen. The
Right.
right people will see it no matter what. And a lot of the kids, I try to tell them that. I said, it's what we're doing for you. It's not about now.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? It's about preparing you for high school, preparing you for college, preparing you for real.
Yeah.
If you get the foundation now where you can trust your work along the journey, the right people will find you.
Yeah, the world.
And the universe will take care of itself.
The universe will, yeah. If you do it is true. Because like that particular job I was talking about, it was one of the first live auditions, live over EcoCast. It's like a Zoom.
Okay.
Is the cast director, she had maybe cast me with Blue Bloods or something. Really great casting director.
Right.
And it's just always the jobs that you don't expect that you're going to get.
Right.
But whatever that foundation is, you just do it and you don't think about it and you walk away. I remember literally like the dog was running by, Tiffany was coming in. We had to mark this is all going on in the back of my audition. You know what I mean? And I'm there like in front of a laptop being like, where is my son? You know what I mean? Right? And then like 2 weeks later, we're on a little vacation and you get that call and you're like, huh.
Uh-huh.
Of course, it's never the ones where you're like, that went really well. I think I'm going to get that.
Of course, and it's never that one.
Never.
The one that is terrible.
Just did that, whatever. And that's it. That's always the one. But it goes back to what you're saying, because that foundation was in there and you didn't think about it and you just put it out there
Right.
for the right reasons. The universe just
Pulls you in. It's awesome. I do want to ask you how you balance being an actor, a director, and being a family, a man of the family, because there are those actors and actresses that are not away from their family, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
You managed to do both.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, you love it.
Yeah.
You know, I love it. It's really the thing that gives me the most. Jackson asked me, my son, he said, what makes you the happiest besides me and mom? And I was like, oh, geez, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I guess my work. But being part of a family makes me really happy. So I'm fortunate in that there's times where I think, well, I guess if I got this job and I went away for 3 months, that'd be great. Is that the right time? Is it right to do that right now? You know what I mean? Because I want to be a part of this family. So I think for us, because my wife's a makeup artist and a filmmaker as well, our schedules, it does happen. Like we're making a documentary right now on a famous burlesque performer, Dita Von Teese. So we're going to go to Paris for a week. And I know it sounds funny, but it's the first time we're going to leave Jax. So we don't have family in New York and stuff.
Right.
It's the first time we're going to leave him with his cousin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And go over there and film because he's got school, he's got baseball, and it's also like burlesque. You know, right?
It's also
Yeah. There's that and stuff. But juggling is tricky, but he's come with us a lot when we've gone. Like we did a documentary on Kevin O'Quan, who's a famous makeup artist. So we had to go interview a lot of supermodels, Kate Moss, all these people, and he came along. So he'd have these experiences where you get to meet these amazing women and have these experiences and stuff. So I think like that's been good, but it's like he's also at an age where he's 13 and he can maybe stay on this teenager to his thing. You know what I mean? It's like, but
teenager.
Yeah, it is like I'm going to have to miss coaching 2 baseball games. So I know that sounds funny, but you know how it is. It's always a bit of a kind of a juggling, balancing act, but it's really, I couldn't see doing it any other way. I see these guys like Benedict Cumberbatch and they have 3 kids and he seems like a great dude. I love Doctor Strange. You're on set, those Marvel movies, 3 to 6 months plus pickups and whatever. I'm like, is that? Obviously, when there's a will, there's a way. You know what I mean?
You find a way.
Yeah, do the kids come there? His wife is also a performer and a writer and a director. Like, how do they make it work somehow?
Right.
But it would be tough to like really not be able to be present as much as you wanted because of work. I don't know if I could. I don't know. That'd be tough. So we've been lucky that there's these hits and starts and spurt. You go away, do a job, and then come back and you can figure it out. But the coaching thing, I know we share that in common.
Yeah.
Is like that is truly win or lose. One of the best things because you're bringing this group of people together whose skills are maybe all over the place, but there's this moment where they all connect. They're like, it's not about that. It's about us all being connected and working together as a team. And that's like it's really one of the greatest feelings.
Yeah. All right.
This is really fun, man.
It's really good talking to you. Thank you. This is great. I'm learning so much about you. What projects do you have coming up?
We touched a little bit on Pretty Little Liars. Yeah. It's coming on HBO Max.
I only watched with my wife.
Okay. Only with his wife. And we are working on a documentary on Dita Von Teese, who maybe your viewers, she might be a little more sophisticated than some of your viewers. She's a famous performer. So we're working on a documentary on her. I also wrote a screenplay that I'm trying to get made about Vivian Lee. It's a true story. Vivian Lee, you probably would know that she played Scarlett in Gone with the Wind.
Okay.
And she was Blanche Dubois in Streetcar Named Desire. Won 2 Oscars, incredible English actress, troubled, not great mental health. So a friend of mine told me a story years ago, literally at like a family when our kids were really little, about a relative of his who ran a flower shop in Philadelphia. And he got a call from Laurence Olivier, who's a very famous English actor, to deliver flowers to a woman. Brings flowers, it's Vivian Lee. And she would go to Philadelphia for out-of-town tryouts for Broadway. And she also would get electroshock, ECT therapy.
When they were doing that.
Yeah.
Goodness.
So that was really the only thing that would help her at the time. This is obviously before a lot of medications, remedies for mental health issues. So the story revolves around her in the last year of her life and this friendship that she forms with this like really blue collar Philadelphia florist guy that's pretty inarticulate. So they form this kind of friendship. It's not romantic, right? So I'm trying to get this movie made and I want to get it made like on a big level, which has been interesting. You're talking about grit and perseverance. The last couple things I've always tried to direct and we have a great ability to attach like movie stars and famous people, but then raising the money is so hard.
Yeah. Well,
So hard.
I can understand trying to do a project and wasting money.
I mean, I have like two that have fallen apart with really great actors, and we've had a little better luck with the documentaries because you can make them for less. And there's such a market with all the streaming network channels, and they're a little bit safer. They're like, I guess financially you would compare them to like bonds. You know what I mean? You're not going to make billions, but you can if you make a good one, you can sell it. And frankly, I think Tiffany's more talented than me. We have rivalry. She directs the documentaries. I direct the narrative films require like that much money.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got
Stacks.
stacks around.
So this one, I'm trying to find a big director and take myself out of that and just work as a writer. So that's something that I'm really excited about because I feel like going in, again, back to the 50, what's the next however many years going to look like? Sure, I want to get more recurrent parts. I'm really going to graduate into the dad, what did you say before, the guidance counselor?
Yeah,
That's Tiffany's dream role for me. It's like the English teacher, the principal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's got a bit of an edge, but it's kind of, so like I'll but could I work more in getting bigger films made and try to get, inside some kind of studio where our projects can get made in an easier way? Because we live in New York.
Yeah.
You can live anywhere now, but New York is the capital of everything in my book. But there's also like that of the Hollywood. And go take the lunches in Hollywood. You know what I mean?
So where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Jayce Bartok, just my name on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Jayce Bartok. You can find me on my website, jaycebartok.com. Pretty simple. Our production company is Vinyl, like record, VINYL, FOOTE.com. So if any of your viewers are looking to like PA on a shoot, intern, if they're interested in filmmaking, we take on a couple people for shoots, stuff like that. Us at Vinylfoot is a great email, us at VINYLFOOTE.com. So that's the places.
All right, awesome. I'd like to thank Jayce for joining us on the podcast. Truly remarkable story. He found his passion. He used his grit to get through life and about to celebrate that big 50. That's my guy, something special. Be sure to check out our Village Stories. Join our mailing list so you can get updates on blog information and when the pods wouldn't be dropping. Also follow me on Instagram at acoachcam.com. Got some insight on parenting. I hook up with some neurologists, children therapists, and things like that to give you some insight. So please be on the lookout for that. I will also be attaching some of Jayce's information in the show notes. Go find them. You can go find them on IMDb. I mean, that's a good site as well. Any and everything you do with passion and grit. Find your passion and get to it. That's A Coach Cam. Salute. Thank you for joining us.